3.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the same crew. Week 3 is finally in the books after a one really good Monday night game and one not so really good Monday night game. Depends on what team you root for, maybe. Maybe one team had a really good Monday night, if you know what I'm referring to. But nonetheless, we are through week 3. We finally have either donuts on each side or 2 or 1 in the win column. Barron Burns, your Eagles are 2-1.
Yep.
My Falcons honestly should be 0-3, but they stole one off y'all and are 1-2. But of course, we're not here to talk about just our teams. We're here to talk about every team. Anything we want to say before you get into it?
Good week 3 all around the board. Let's just jump into it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get right into Sunday. But first, before we do that, I want to say, although most people may not agree with this, I will say, hope Brett Favre gets healthy. You saw he has Parkinson's.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, that just came out. By the time we're recording, it just came out like an hour ago or 30 minutes ago. So, hoping everyone's healthy, but hoping Brett Favre is healthy. And after some things happen, some people don't want that, but we're not here to spew anything. So,
prayers up.
Anyways, let's. What's funny about this Sunday? The two teams you didn't want to talk about are winners.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyways.
So I guess we have to talk about them.
Yeah, we have to talk about them. First game at Cleveland, the New York Giants. Malik Neighbors, in my opinion, did his thing with 2 tutties. Daniel Jones did his thing with about 240 in passing.
236.
Yeah, Devin Singletary, good running game. And the Cleveland Browns lose to the New York Giants, one of the 2 teams that we thought we wouldn't speak on.
Mm-hmm.
Any reactions about that one?
Well, I didn't really expect the Giants to beat the Browns. I didn't think that Cleveland was that good, but I thought they're better than that. I mean, first play of the game, they kicked the ball off to the Giants, and they made them fumble, scored a touchdown. I thought the game was over at that point.
I thought that was wraps.
So completely wrong. Cleveland's got some work to do. I don't want to say no. Yeah, it's probably over. I mean, they lost. They got destroyed by the Cowboys.
We're 1-2.
Yeah, they lost to the Giants, which is pretty bad in my opinion. I mean, I would say in everyone's opinion, if we're being honest. The one win is against an 0-3 team who might be worse than them. So, yeah, Cleveland, this game kind of just proved they aren't that good. They don't have a lot to show in this division, and might be time to start looking to next season. Good win for the Giants, though.
Yeah.
They're not winning anything.
Might be time to hang it up for them. But the New York Giants, yeah. Malik Neighbors, I saw a tweet. I think everyone really saw it, but the LSU wide receiver is like a Kentucky guard, man.
Yeah.
Safest pick you can get, huh?
We'll see. I mean, what's the other LSU? Brian Thomas? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Brian
Jags.
Thomas Jr. on the Jaguars. He's been okay.
Not been bad. He had actually a decent game. He had, I think, like 48 yards last night, but really for all the Jags players, it wasn't the best game. So,
I'm trying to think, who's another LSU wide receiver
in the league?
Yeah,
Jamar Chase.
No, I know him and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think. Is that
there was? Well, I mean, in the past there was Jarvis Landry, there was Odell Beckham Jr.
That's true, yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah. I don't want to talk about this game too much.
Okay.
Moving on, but Tennessee Titans are 0-3. Packers knocked them off. A lot of eyes are on Will Levis and the boneheaded turnovers he's made. So I don't want to go. I mean, do you want to talk about this game too much?
I mean, good win for Green Bay. Malik Willis is winning you games. He's undefeated. Jordan Love hasn't won. What does that say? I'm just kidding. Prayers up for Jordan Love. I think it's good for
hater.
Well, I think it's good for Green Bay that they're winning these games with Malik Willis, and because when Jordan Love comes back, they're still right there in playoff contention.
Mm-hmm.
I think we said on this podcast that our biggest fear for Green Bay after the Week 1 injury was that Jordan Love's coming back this season, but what's your record going to look like when he does? And for now, they're playing well. So shout out to Malik Willis, keeping his team in contention. And, yeah, this is a team we might have counted out pretty early on since at the beginning of the season, but they're right there in it. On the Colts side, Titans side, Will Levis.
Bro, I brought a blunder.
Yes.
For spilling it all.
Early morning. Will Levis, he played fine, in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
I mean, 260 passing yards isn't terrible in my opinion. I mean, there's guys that did a lot worse. Yeah, the turnovers are bad. I mean, they're funny, but they're bad.
They're funny as crazy. Yeah, they are bad.
I don't think it's all on him.
They're funny because they're bad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's all on him. I mean, you look back at that week 1 game against the Bears when they came back and won. I think there was some of that wasn't just on him. Yeah, they didn't score an offensive touchdown. They came back on defense, but like offensive line's not the greatest. That week 2 game, Calvin Ridley looked great. They couldn't squeak by, but yeah, I mean, I just don't think that team's fully complete yet. Might need to revamp the offensive line, get Levis some help because they got
some help
he's getting
year, but
pummeled. But
yeah.
I don't think it's time to move on from Will Levis, do you?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, I just feel like these young quarterbacks, they just need time.
Yeah.
And with Callahan at coach, it just seems like eventually it'll happen. I like that he's calling out Will Levis, though, honestly. I like finally, because, I mean, from the Jersey, I love watching soccer, and the media they're more honest in the media sometimes, and so I like it, at least players and coaches, so I like that he's calling out his quarterback, like, what the hell is that,
Yeah.
It makes it much more entertaining and much better. So, yeah, Titans are not doing sharp.
One of the 0-3 teams.
One of the 0-3 teams, we'll get to that. The Chicago Bears, the Colts get it done at home.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams had himself 363, I think 2 touchdowns. Wasn't enough.
Couple interceptions.
That's correct. Jonathan Taylor, big on the ground. Adunze, big through the air. But right now, again, I feel like Chicago's in the same place as the Falcons. 1-2 and should be 0-3, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem for Chicago is they have no run game. So for opposing defenses, all they have to do is take away your pass. Because Chicago can't run the ball effectively.
Yeah, Swift isn't having a great year.
Who? Swift? Yeah, no, he can't get it done behind that line. I mean, they're just not good enough. Mm-hmm. I mean, I saw someone critiquing this the other day, but like, yeah, both he and Miles Sanders owe the Eagles millions of dollars because like, when you run behind an offensive line like that and put up numbers that you do on that line, yeah, another team's going to go ahead and give you a lot of money to do not the same thing.
Sadly, that's the case.
DeAndre Swift, I don't think he's changed as a player. It's just his surrounding has, and he's not running behind a good offensive line anymore. So, and he's not the greatest running back to begin with. Like, he has his flaws. You can go back to his times at the Lions. People can point it out to you. But yeah, those flaws can be taken away when you're behind a really good offensive line, and they can really show when you're not. So that's problem 1 for Chicago is their run game. Problem 2 is that they then have a rookie quarterback throwing over 50 passes a game.
I mean, yeah, that's what a lot of people expected Caleb Williams to do, is come in and just immediately change that passing offense. I know they don't have Keenan Allen, right? But they do have the weapons to be there.
I don't think Keenan Allen being out should have any excuse for this. I'm just saying, like, you still don't want a rookie quarterback throwing the ball 50 times a game. Like, you don't want any quarterback throwing the ball 50 times a game. You want to have a balanced run. You want to have a balanced pass. That's the key to winning.
It mostly depends on the game, though. I mean, if you're putting up like 40, 50 points and the pass game's working, it's completely different than if you're putting up 16.
But if you're throwing 50 passes every game for the season, that's not ideal.
Well, yeah, every game, but
then that's been the trend so far. So Chicago's got to figure out something on the ground. And then I think that air attack will start to flow a lot better once they do.
Colts get off the schneid. They've got a win in their pocket. They move forward to 1-2. I think the next game, which caught a lot of people's surprise, is the Minnesota Vikings absolutely pummeled the Houston Texans. I mean, other than Aaron Jones doing his thing, and C.J. Stroud not throwing his best, it was really just Minnesota dominance.
Well, we knew this Vikings team was good all across the board. The only question mark we really had for this team going into the season was how well is this quarterback? Yeah. Whoever you have under center, how well are they going to play for you? And you expected it to be J.J. McCarthy, the rookie. He tears his ACL. He's out, not playing this season. So yeah, then probably one of the biggest stories this season so far is Sam Darnold stepping into that offense and putting up MVP level numbers.
And happy for him is that the knee injury he got in the game was just like a bruise, and he might be back the upcoming week, which is good. So, because it really was scary when he goes down, and you're like, oh, it's like not only is that was supposed to be the backup and you have a third stringer coming in, but he's having such a good year that it's like, damn, you never want to see injuries like that. So,
and again,
injuries in general.
Minnesota could also just be on this super hot start, much like the Saints were, and Sam Darnold is playing out of his mind and is going to eventually come back down to earth. But, I mean, through these first 3 games, he's done what it takes to get it done. I mean, you have a top 3 receiver in the league. You have another really good receiver when Addison gets back.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones is still a great running back. I mean, the only reason Green Bay moved off him is because they got a better one.
Yeah.
You'll get T.J. Hawkinson back at some point as well, and that defense is legit. I mean, they have serious pass rush. I have faith in their linebackers, and their secondary's been pretty good this year. So I like Minnesota, and I mean, it all comes down to how well the quarterback from Minnesota plays, and if they play well, this is the result.
Let's keep going forward with the your Eagles taking on the New Orleans Saints, and they got the job done. A very low-scoring game from 2 offenses that can put a lot up, and a lot of credit go to Dallas Goedert on the receiving end, really picking it up for the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Saints, the high Saints that were probably the best-ranked team in the NFC from how they played the first 2 games, of course.
They put up 94 points in the first 2 weeks.
Go down with only 12 here. Eagles get it done. How are you feeling about that as a win?
I mean, it's a good win. Granted, there's mistakes across all fronts throughout the game. It's not a complete team yet. Still work to be done, but it's a good win, good rally. A lot of injuries, unfortunately, so
we'll see how it goes. And I just want to say it's a good win for the Eagles, not only because you're beating off, or beating the one team in the NFC and knocking off the Saints as well, but I think it's most important because playing in the Superdome in New Orleans as a Falcons fan is always intimidating. And maybe because there's a little bit of a rivalry there, of course, but I've always found that home field to be one of the best in the NFL.
Well,
so
to be fair, there probably was a lot more midnight green there than there would have been red. Eagles fans travel very well. It was very loud there for when our defense or when their offense was on the field.
True.
One of the Saints players did go out afterwards and say it was unusually loud on offense. So
there you go.
I don't. To me, one of the good things about being a Philadelphia Eagle as a player is fans travel very well. So road games are probably not as hard as they would be for other teams.
There you go. Let's move forward to the Chargers and the Steelers. Steelers got it done on the backs of their defense once again. Herbert injury. Fields had some pretty decent moments in there. How much you want to talk about this one, honestly?
I mean, Justin Fields looked good. He's playing well.
Pittsburgh's 3-0.
He's doing what they need him to do, which is just manage the game. Don't cause turnovers, which I think they had their first turnover of the season this week.
Yeah, there was a tipped pick that went to Dupree or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, former Steeler.
Yeah, so, Justin Fields is doing great, not turning the ball over, just taking long drives, using up clock, getting points where he can, and defense is doing their job. I mean, this is really the best way to play football when you don't have a star-studded cast.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Mike Tomlin probably knows better than anyone how to play good football with what you're given. So, shout out to the Steelers. They're doing good. Leading a division, most people thought they'd finish last in.
Yeah, which is a little crazy so far, but we still got a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Good for the Steelers. Next game I want to talk about real quick. Broncos knocking off the Bucs. A huge upset from the spread. A huge upset because, not everyone had faith in the Broncos. Buccaneers went into Detroit, knocked off a really good Lions team. Anything you want to say there? I mean, it's just a couple turnovers caused Tampa Bay some position, some great defense from Denver, sometimes like we expect them to have.
I mean, it was just kind of like a breakdown for Tampa Bay. I feel like they were kind of riding that high from the game last week. Probably got started off a little slow, got hit in the mouth. I mean, Bro Nix looked great. We know, Denver, everyone in the NFL's got playmakers, right?
Yep.
Besides maybe a few teams that are bad. We don't have to talk about them. Anyway, they've got pieces on defense that can step up, make plays. They've got pieces on offense that can step up and make plays. And for this game, those players did it. They did everything they needed to do to win. Bo Nix, like I said, looked really good as a rookie quarterback, threw for 216. I feel good about that as win as Denver. And if you're Tampa Bay, I just be ready for just be better prepared for games like that in the future. I mean, I honestly just feel like they didn't expect Denver to go out like that. or to come out and hit them like that. And
True.
that's kind of what happens more than you think in the NFL.
Well, there you go. Next, I want to talk about real quick.
Probably one of the bigger games this week.
What are you thinking?
The
Panthers?
Panthers last week.
Yeah, Panthers. Andy Dalton comes out, red rifle firing. Bryce Young the issue? Question mark.
I don't want to say he's an issue, but he's not a solution. Because, like I said last week,
I still have faith in him, but
Bryce
it's
Young
tough.
is talented to the point where if you put him on a roster with pieces around him, I think he can produce. But when you put him on a roster like the Panthers, where there's not a lot of people out there that can go and make their own play
True.
and help him out, he's not going to succeed. He's not one of those quarterbacks like a CJ Stroud or maybe even at this point Jane Daniels, who can just go into a bad situation and instantly make it better. He doesn't have that skill set. And yeah, I just don't think until Carolina gets some serious free agents around him, or unless he takes some serious strides this season and in the offseason, I don't see him being the answer for Carolina.
There you go.
And I think if I'm Carolina, unless I'm all in on this guy I just drafted and I want to go sign like a big name receiver to get open for him and like create his own space for him, or like get an all-star offensive guard or tackle to give him some more time. But yeah, I think you're looking at the draft for another quarterback this year.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think Bryce Young can get it done in that situation right now.
We'll see what happens. I kind of want to fly through the 4:00 games just because, Miami, Seattle.
Miami's on their third quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, can't really do much there.
They traveled the furthest.
If you want to be honest, Baltimore, Dallas was really much of a blowout, and Dallas kind of started pushing it a little bit, but Baltimore got the job done, which they should have got the job done. It was a scare of last week, but even 2 times, 3 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
So, Detroit, Arizona. Detroit got the job done as well. 7-point victory on the road.
So you missed one.
I know, missed one. I missed it on purpose for a second. The Rams were about 5%, 4% favorites to win the game. About 2 minutes left. Got the job done. Down 7, down 10 at one point as well. Damn. 49ers 1-2,
Mm-hmm.
0-2 on the road. You scared for them right now?
I'm scared for them in terms of the fact that all their players are injured.
So you're not scared of them as a team moving forward with the record?
We'll talk about that in a bit.
We'll get it soon. Sunday night, Chiefs, Falcons. I feel like the Falcons pushed the brink a little bit on the Chiefs. Pass interference on Kyle Pitts, yes or no?
Are you asking me or you asking
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I mean, I would say it's pass interference.
I would say so too, but I'm a little bit biased.
But I saw a lot of calls that I also thought were pass interference this week that weren't called. So I guess I don't know what I'm talking
exactly.
about.
Rashee Rice had himself a really good game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Bijan, not so much. Mahomes got the job done. Never go against Mahomes. You know how it works. Don't fade the GOAT.
Yeah, don't do it.
Honestly, Monday night, I kind of want to skip over the Jags game.
Yeah, they suck.
Josh Allen, in my opinion, is right now the favorite for the MVP.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
playing
that's who I thought was going to win this year, and he's doing it right now, but still a long way to go. And 4 of his friends and Josh Allen over Stephon Diggs, I guess.
That's all you need.
All you need. Washington, Cincinnati, first game in 80 years without punt or turnover. A lot of explosive football right there. I'll be honest, I'm sad that I didn't tune in for the entire game. But I see that Jaden Daniels had more touchdowns than incompletions.
Jaden Daniels is legit.
Hey, keep going back, keep rewinding the pod, and just keep finding my takes, bro. I'm the GOAT.
All right. I mean,
I'm the GOAT.
Okay, so yeah, he played out of his mind last night. I don't want to take that away from him,
but
Cincinnati's defense may just be terrible. Like, they might be awful.
I mean, the first they lost to the Patriots, the Chiefs, Commanders gave up 38. Hey, what the trend they're doing? They give up more points every game. Do you think they give up more than 38 to the Panthers? 16, 26, and 38, which means they're on a trend of going up.
I honestly would not count the Panthers out that week game. We'll talk about it next episode.
Yeah, we will.
But
well, look, 10-point increase, 12-point increase, maybe 14-point increase for 52 for Carolina.
I want to say Jane Daniels played great.
I don't think we can take away from Jane
I
Daniels.
watched
there, in my
most of
opinion.
that game. He looked great in the pocket, going through his reads,
Looked
finding
great
open
in the read
guy.
option.
But holy crap, Cincinnati's defense is terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't great there.
Awful. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. But
We will.
yeah, shout out to Jane Daniels.
And,
He played out of his mind.
Let's get to our segment because I think we got about 10 minutes left, 10, 15 minutes left. So let's
All
do
right.
it. Let's get to the
Hurry
segment.
on up.
You wanted to introduce it, so I want you to talk about it because this is your idea.
Well, welcome to the danger zone, bro.
Danger zone.
All right, we don't need that. Basically, what this is about is we're going to talk about some of these teams right now where it might be time to start to hit the panic button. It's week 3. There are 18 weeks of football, and now hitting the panic button now is not good. So let's just jump right into it.
And you're going to have to give me the teams.
I am, and I think we'll just stick with the Bengals for now. 0-3, a team everyone thought was going to be in the playoffs. Joe Burrow,
I'm in the bucket like Barron.
top 3 quarterback in the league. I mean, what are
I'm
we
in the
talking
bucket like
about?
Barron.
Very underperforming season. Week 1, we go into Fox, or no, is that in Cincinnati?
In Cincinnati.
Oh, that's even
At home in the jungle.
That's even worse. You open up in the jungle with a team that most people are probably saying is the worst team in the league. I think going into the season, it was the Panthers, the Patriots, or the Giants.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, you lose week 1. Not a good look. People are saying, "Oh, it's the Bengals. They lose a few games to start the season every year." But look at the games they lost at the beginning of the season last couple years. Those were against good teams, right? Week 1, you lose to a terrible team. Not a good look. But again, week 1, 17 weeks left. Let's move on. Week 2, you play the defending champions.
Defending, reigning champions.
Super Bowl champions in their home. You barely lose. I'll give them credit there. You lost off of a call that probably should have gone your way. Granted, you're playing the Chiefs, so it was never going to go your way. But any other team, that call probably did go your way, and you probably do win that game. Unfortunately, you don't. Don't have much to say about that game. Like we just said, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're going to get the refs' help. They're a really good football team. They have Patrick Mahomes. They barely lost. I'm not too upset about that. But you're 0-2 right now. Not terrible. You still got you're in a division where the other teams that everyone thought was going to be good are struggling. Not to be counted out yet. So we're feeling all right. We got another home game back in the jungle, and we're playing a rookie quarterback and a team that's
in a primetime game.
And in a primetime game against a team that's not that doesn't seem very good. A lot of old players, rotating players, rookie quarterback. He hasn't come out of his shell yet.
New head coach too.
Yeah, exactly. New head coach too. But you let the rookie quarterback come out of his shell. Plays the best game. I mean,
of his young career. Yeah.
His young career had 91 completion percentage, NFL rookie record.
Yeah.
2 passing touchdowns. More passing touchdowns than incompletions. And
But
a
3
rushing
passing touchdowns.
No, he
right?
had 2. He had a rushing touchdown.
So he had 3 total.
Yeah, it's 3 total touchdowns.
I thought he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Am I tripping?
He might have.
So I have him in fantasy.
I could also be tripping, but I think maybe. Anyway, he plays out of his mind. Now you're down to 3.
2 passing, 1 rushing. You're right.
Yeah. Now you're down to 0-3. I think it's time to panic. I mean, Joe Burrow played really well last night. I'm looking at the stats. 324 yards. I know he had at least 2 passing touchdowns, and I don't think he had any turnovers. He played great. Didn't play that well week 1. Granted, you also were missing T. Higgins that week. He played fine, I thought, against the Chiefs, but I think this game was his best game so far this season, and they still lost. So let's circle it back around.
Yep.
Defense, terrible. It's just awful. They had no pressure against Jane Daniels almost the entire night last night. The only time he ever faced any pressure was probably towards the end of the game, which was good. That's probably when you want to see it if you're not getting any all game, but still, no pressure. He had all the time he wanted. Receivers were getting separation. I saw guys like Zach Ertz, Noah Brown, and people I don't even remember that were just absolutely cooking your starting corners and safeties. So,
Yep.
I think, to me, Cincinnati, it's defense. And when you're in a division, the AFC North, where every other team prides themselves on their good defense, that's just, I don't see them winning this division anymore. I don't see them beating the Ravens 2 times. I honestly could see the Ravens beating them twice. And I honestly could see the Steelers beating them twice from the way that their defense has been playing as of late. So Cincinnati, I think it's time to put them in the danger zone.
So am I hitting the panic button?
You can if you want.
I'm not hitting the panic button.
Okay.
I am not. I'm laying off of it just because I know this is the history of the Bengals, that they start slow. And honestly, I mean, it all depends on this week, in my opinion. If you lose against Panthers, it's done. I can't have confidence anymore, right? But once again, you need that win to get the confidence. And this is the team where you go in, you play in an environment that is not the best. I think you're playing on the road against Carolina. It's not the best environment. Go out, have some fun, play your game, figure it out this week. Can't figure it out this week, then, yeah, of course, you're 0-4 hitting the panic button. I mean, that seems obvious. But figure it out this week, then you become 1-3. I think you have the Giants as well, and you have the Ravens. I'm still confident they can do the work. I'm not putting them in the panic system.
I'm hitting it because I'm pretty sure we said that exact same sentence last week.
We did.
So,
but I'm not hitting it.
All right, let's move on though. I think that's the one AFC team I wanted to talk about. That's right. I'm going to enjoy these two.
Oh, God.
Let's move on to what's going on down there in Dallas.
Am I hitting the panic button in Dallas?
Are we putting them in the danger zone?
Honestly, I am going to put them in the danger zone.
I'm putting them in the danger zone.
The reason I'm going to put them in the danger zone because of they're out of division schedule is really tough in my opinion. I think they got the AFC North and they have the NFC South. So they lost to the Saints. Panthers are still in play. The Falcons, I think, could be a good game.
They beat the Browns.
Buccaneers, yeah.
But they lost to the Ravens.
But what I'm saying is AFC North, you still got the Steelers and the Bengals, right?
I think they beat the Bengals, and they probably beat the Steelers.
I don't think they.
Where do they play the Steelers? Where do they play the Steelers?
Then they play in Acrisure.
Okay, that might be that could
if they
be
play in Acrisure, they play in Acrisure, right. And they play the Bengals at home. And
I think they beat the Bengals.
I think they low-key lose both.
Nah, they beat the Bengals.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I'm putting the danger zone because I feel like their offense is so one-dimensional. I feel like the run game sometimes is not there.
It's not.
Exactly.
And their run defense. Don't even get me started on that.
Derrick Henry ran all over that. Yeah, it's horrible.
And if you look at they got Derrick Henry exposed that run defense. You got to play Saquon Barkley twice.
But then you also have to play the South.
I'm trying to think.
You already played Kamara, right?
They have to play CMC at some point this year if he gets back.
Oh, they play the Niners as well?
I would assume so. They both won the division last year.
So, are you talking about in the playoffs?
No. You know how with the extension, every team you play. So every NFC team plays a rival division, and then you play a team from the NFC. So NFC East plays the South, so they also play one team from the West.
They play the Niners on the road, and CMC may be back, but still Jordan Mason can still run the ball very well.
Yeah.
But I still think you go against Bijan, you go against Rashad White, Bucky Irvin. Yeah. Panthers run game, Chuba Hubbard does actually not look too bad, and you have Brooks coming off the injury from the draft, so you got a rookie running back there. I just think the Cowboys should sign an undrafted free agent running back. I've already told you that before. Some fresh legs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's just, to me. I mean, you look at the behind the scenes as well. You've got Mike McCarthy. He's on his last year.
Yeah,
and
he's done.
They did not re-sign him, so this is his last year as a Dallas Cowboy. So you're already.
I mean, they need to turn around, but yeah, you're done.
So already at the head of the front office with the head coach, he's probably not all in because he knows he's done. He probably does not care as much because he knows he's done. He's probably trying to coach so he can get another job opportunity, but he probably does not care that much. Then you got issues between, I don't want to say issues, sorry, but we saw the outburst by CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott and on the sideline this weekend.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not going to say there's anything going on, but when people see that, people talk. So I'll just leave that out there. But yeah, no, the run defense has been terrible. They got destroyed by the Saints. Alvin Kamara killed them. And then, Derrick Henry also, and Lamar Jackson. We haven't shout out Lamar Jackson. Both of them killed them this week.
Yep.
I'm panicking.
Yeah, I'm also in the danger zone for Dallas.
Especially when you're in the division, you're third in the division, tied with the Giants.
Who else?
Last team, San Francisco 49ers.
I'm off
1 and 2. I'm also, I don't want to hit the panic button. only reason is because the way they're playing right now, it's just because of injuries.
I'm off. I'm not. I'm a believer in Bang Bang Niner Gang, not as a fan, but as a viewer and as a speaker on the NFL. I am a believer still, so I'm laying off of it.
Yeah.
And I think this game actually, they lost, and it's brutal, So it's hard to take away positive, but to take away positive, Brock Purdy played really well without the star weapons.
Yeah, he just couldn't get it done.
Well, he did a lot. He threw 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He threw, I think, near 300 yards or close, like either on it or 300 yards.
Yeah,
and
292.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it's on the defense, that game. It's on the defense.
No, yeah, it is.
So,
I think it just comes down to injuries.
There's one main question to me, which is, can Brock Purdy play without him? He played it really well without him. So it's like, okay, well then I guess the Niners can do something, you know?
Yeah.
So I still have confidence in the Niners. And when they come back, I still have confidence they can become the best team in the NFC still.
Again, I don't think it's time to count them out or hit panic yet. It's injuries is their issue. It's not really performance.
Yeah.
They just can't get the right guys on the field. But yeah, 1-2. They lost to Matthew Stafford, who did not have his 2 wide receivers. I mean, I don't think people are really talking about that, right? Like, this 49ers defense was the best last year, and who did they lose to last week? The Vikings.
The Niners?
They got torched by Sam Darnold, and they let Justin Jefferson let up that 97-yarder.
Yep.
And now they're letting Matthew Stafford dot him up with backup Matthew Stafford dot him up with backup wide receivers.
It's what you said, but it's still Stafford. So,
I mean, Stafford's good. I'm not going to take that away from him, but he's also like 50. Like I don't expect him to
Aaron
be that
Rodgers
same
40.
player. That's true.
Still doing his thing.
That's true. I don't expect Matthew Stafford to do anything like. I didn't expect this without his 2 top weapons. So, shout out to him. And yeah, San Francisco, time to clean up the defense a little.
Who do you think is better? Right, just quickly before you go into the last segment.
Talk about Chiefs or Bills.
Chiefs or Bills? Who do you think is better? You think the Bills are better?
Bills are destroying their teams. The Chiefs are barely winning.
There you go.
The Chiefs also.
You could make an argument about the pass interference calls for winning and losing.
I was also about to say the Chiefs have been on the end of some very controversial calls.
Yeah.
All right, we can quickly wrap this up with a little Thursday night preview, mainly because
let's preview this shit.
I think I could tell you the score of this game.
I want you to tell me it.
All right, it's going to be 42-0.
No.
42-7.
No.
It's all right. Dallas just beats them.
Dallas wins.
Dallas is going to win. I know Dallas is going to win.
The spread is 4.5. I'm taking I might actually put money on that spread. I won't lie.
That is absolutely insane. Dallas destroys them every year.
I mean, it's a division rivalry.
I know. Dallas will destroy them.
My thing is I'm just scared Devin Singletary ran really well last week. You know, the Giants can make that. Malik Neighbors, in my opinion, can really change that passing game. But to be honest, I think Dallas's passing game will be too much.
I do too. I'll say this: if Devin Singletary can get it going, then yes, I think New York has a shot. But I think this is one of those games for the Dallas defense, if they can take the run game out of it, because I mean, we love Devin Singletary. Shout out to him, but he's not that good. He's old, and he's not. He has a terrible offensive line. So if they can shut that down and make this a passing game, they're gonna destroy them.
Yeah. So I think that is. I mean, I don't really know if I want to preview this game too much because it's not, in my opinion. But I think Dallas is gonna win. You think Dallas is gonna win?
Yeah, I mean.
So to change the subject just a little bit for upcoming week, and I know we're gonna talk about next week on the next pod.
Okay.
But here's what I want to do real quick. If you had to pick, you know, Fox has their game of the week every week. What would be your
game of the week?
Either game of the week, not in term. You can do either in terms of star power, or you can do in terms of what storyline, or you think is gonna be the closest game, the most exciting. What do you think?
Can I get a little crazy with it?
You can say whatever game you want.
All right, I'm doing Cincinnati, Carolina.
You think it's gonna be game of the week in terms of why?
All right, we got Andy Dalton, right? Longtime Bengal. He's going to want to prove himself, right? I mean, he's already kind of proved himself. He's been thrown into a backup role for a rookie quarterback as the mentor. Now he's starting. Had a great game. Destroyed the Raiders. Cincinnati is a team I don't think is very good. Just talked about it. I like to see Andy Dalton come out and do the same thing. Dice up his old team. Mm-hmm. And for the Bengals side of it, yeah, like you were saying earlier, if for whatever reason they lose this game, season's over.
It's over.
Season's over.
Mm-hmm.
So And I will be right there talking. I'll be right there in Instagram comments to say Jalen Hurts is better than Joe Burrow. Trust me. So, for me, that's my game of the week. Let's go Panthers. Keep pounding. Yeah.
Yeah, only one team has made the playoffs 0-4 is the 1992 Chargers.
Wow. Shout out to the Chargers.
Yeah. Shout out AJ.
The one team you would not expect that to happen.
Yeah,
to.
Crazy. But couldn't make the playoffs when they had the number one offense and defense.
I was about to say, if you start the season 0-4 as a Chargers fan, that's probably time to call it.
It's time to call for. It's time to call for every team. What do you mean? There's been one team. If you look at history, there's been one team that makes it.
That's true.
So
That's true.
yes, it is time to call it if you go 0-4. So my game of the week. Oh wow! I'm gonna say for storyline, I think a really good storyline game will be Buffalo and Baltimore, or it will be Minnesota and Green Bay.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think I honestly think the game of the week might be Minnesota Green Bay if Jordan Love comes back. You got two quarterbacks who, in my opinion, you got Jordan Love, the young kid who's coming off the knee injury, Sam Darnold, who's playing great but still on a knee injury. You got two quarterbacks going into Lambeau, one of the most historic division rivalries in a historic venue. Green Bay, Minnesota, 2-1, 3-0. Winner takes the lead in the division. I think that would be a good game.
Yeah, that would have been my second choice.
Yeah. So, other than that, if you really look at the full slate, I think Sunday night's a really good game. But we'll see. We'll see what gets to it. Some rivalry games in here as well. That's what we like to see. Yep. Anything else you want to add?
I can't think of anything.
I can.
Oh.
Falcons, you better win this game or else you're not making the playoffs.
Who do they play?
The Saints.
Good luck.
Yeah, honestly, probably not going to win.
Well, if we want to get technical, the Falcons beat the Eagles beat the Saints, so the Falcons will beat the Saints.
We're 0-2 at home. All right, well, but we also have the 8th greatest attendance this year, in average attendance. So, yeah, 8th best attendance, you'll never sing that. What's the Eagles before we hang off? Oh, 16th. 16th in attendance.
We've had one home game.
It's average attendance. It's not total attendance, average.
I know. And when we have one home game, that is the total.
Yeah. So New Orleans has 2 home games and they're 15th. Tampa Bay's had 2 home games and they're 28th.
Trust me, when we get what is it? Eagles.
Giants have a better home attendance than you.
Well,
they're second in the league.
They wanted to go see Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, they're second in the league.
All right, whatever.
All right, well, that'll be another episode of Nothing Green. Thank y'all for tuning in. The Danger Zone will be coming to y'all soon. Hopefully your team wins, or else maybe the Danger Zone will come escape your team.
The Danger Zone's coming for you.
It will come for you personally. Anyways, that's another episode of Nothing Green. Thank y'all for listening, and peace.